Hello, so my name is Carlos. I'm the team lead for my team for this hackathon. We decided to create an application called Stock Vision Pro. We decided to go with financial data because specifically for this hackathon, since we're trying to minimize the number of hallucinations from the large language model, I thought financial data would be a good way to go since specifically financial data, medical data, or anything to do with company data, we don't want to deal with the large language model hallucinating, right, or making things up. So this is my team. Everybody contributed. We started exactly at the time 24 hours ago, right? So the problem that we're trying to solve here is catering to retail investors. It's very difficult nowadays since there's a lot of information out there when we're trying to research for stocks or any kind of investment opportunity. So I think there's a lot of room to grow when it comes to large language models helping retail investors make their decisions for their investments. The need for automation is also extremely important, right? So, like I said, there's a lot of information out there when it comes to financial data, and it's very difficult for somebody who doesn't work in a hedge fund and is just trying to invest as an individual. I think large language models has a lot of capability in helping in their area. Like I said, we're trying to help retail investors. Obviously, hedge funds are going to have tools that are much more advanced. This is a basic prototype to basically summarize different investment opportunities for retail investors. The technologies that we used for this hackathon are going to be Django and Python. Most of it's written in Django. We used a little bit of HTML, and we also used the Vectara HHEM library to be able to evaluate different combinations on the large language models, as well as the prompting that we can use with the large language models so that we can minimize the amount of hallucinations that happen with the large language models. We also compared ChatGPT 4 Turbo with Gemini-Pro. Like I said, we're using the HHEM model. I was very impressed by this model. It's one, very easy to use, but also very powerful. We were able to get a lot of different combinations, analyze it very quickly, and pick the combinations that had the least amount of hallucinations. So these are the results from our evaluation. As you can see, so I decided to use two different features, model. So we were using ChatGPT 4 Turbo and Gemini Pro. And I also try to combine different prompting techniques with them, right, to see which ones would give the least amount of hallucination. So I basically just started with a prompting that I called version 1, right? And then I created another three prompts, so version 2, 3, and 4. And then I just tried every single combination possible. I think at the end we had around 400 different combinations. And it took about 3 hours to run through all of them. So these are our results right here. So we can see ChatGPT 4 Turbo on average performed a little bit better with 0.69, which is performing quite well. Gemini, not that far behind. If we had a little bit more time, that would have been really interesting to also try Mistral or some other models out there to see how they would compare. For the prompting, I was able to get the average for each prompt, so we can see that the first prompt that I created was the one that caused the most hallucinations, right? 0.55, which is quite low. There's a good amount of hallucination there. Prompt 2 seems to be, the best performing prompt. So the best performing combination here that we have is going to be ChatGPT 4 Turbo with the prompt version 4. It performed extremely well. Second one is going to be Gemini with version 2 of the prompt, and it also performed extremely well. Just as a side note, I was talking to somebody on Discord. I think I was getting a warning from the library that I was exceeding the 512 tokens, I believe. So this is probably not completely accurate here. If we had a little bit more time, I probably would have divided either made the large language model response to cap at 512 tokens, or I could have split into different evaluations so that I could evaluate the entire data set. Like I said, it was just 24 hours to work on this, but this was still helped a lot, and we were able to get pretty good results out of this. So let's demonstrate our application now. So we're gonna go here. This is our application. Very basic since we only had 24 hours, but I can totally see there's a lot of different branches that we could have gone with this. So there's a lot that we can build on top of this. So let's try, here's asking for a stock symbol. So we're gonna go with the one that is suggesting here at first, just to test it, MSFT. One side note that I forgot to mention, the best performing one was ChatGPT 4, right? But we decided to go with Gemini and version 2 here. The reason was because through the API that I'm using right now, ChatGPT 4 Turbo was taking around 30 seconds to get the results, where Gemini was giving a response in about 3 seconds. So we figured the difference in the hallucination is not that big. Gemini performed pretty well with this version 2 of the prompting, so we just decided to go with that since it was much faster response time. So here are the results. It gives a summary of financial health, growth potential, risks, sector analysis, major competitors. Just to be clear, with the this is a RAG application. So the way it works right now is first step. So let's say we put a different one here. Let's go with WPC for real estate, right? First, the application is gonna gather a lot of financial data. So it is using the current financial data in the market. So we're collecting data from Yahoo Finance, which is pretty easy to collect from Python. From there, I also do some crunching on the data. So we get, for example, the highest price for ever, the lowest price ever. We get the highest price for the year. A lot of different data points like that. We also get the PE ratio, EPS, a lot of different data points. If we had more time, I actually wanted to add that in the evaluation process. So a lot of different data sets, right? To see which one would perform best and give us the best results. We didn't have a lot of time, so we just had to go with this specific data set, but with more time, we can definitely improve this a lot. So here we can see for the WPC all the results. It gives risk, sector analysis, recommendations. Obviously, I should probably put in the end, this is not financial advice, just in case people lose money on this. But yes, so I thought it was very interesting using this HHEM evaluation here. Very helpful, and I think it can be used in a lot of different sectors now that LLMs are being used in pretty much every sector now. So I think reducing the amount of hallucinations is going to be a really important process. So I was very satisfied with this hackathon. I learned a lot. So thanks to for the guys that set up the hackathon, and Vectara that created the library for us. Yes, thank you for the opportunity.